Super Mario World Blind Romhack Race, Week 173. Level by Jordan, The Treasure Hunt. I like the sound of that. Romhack Races, Week 173. Mario has embarked on a perilous journey to help discover a long-forgotten ancient relic. 13 OLDC. Yes, I meant Overworld. Yeah, but yes. The Treasure Hunt. Did better than I usually do. It was funny, I actually rated someone the other day and they knew of Jordan's work. It's like, dude said that Jordan was his favorite hacker, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. At least I think it's the same Jordan. Because I'd recently moderated Dolls, which I think is also the same Jordan's work, and that, yeah, those are solid, never mind. But yeah, he tried Dolls for a minute, was just confused. Dolls is not easy. Dolls is all about, like, memorizing locations of objects. It is not... oops. It is not an easy hack. It's a puzzle hack. There's no tricky platforming in it. It's just puzzles. I guess there's a couple bosses. That's the thing I think we probably will need to do is, like, spin off a thread for puzzle difficulty stuff. Because I just don't think puzzle difficulty fits well into this dynamic. Oops. But we'll do something with that, I suppose. I'll also make a note that Myth of Mana being where it is probably a bad idea. This Myth of Mana has definitely had a Kaizo tag for a reason. That last section with the high-gravity instant flying jumps is, having played it recently, not standard fare. Oh, I misread that entirely. I thought I needed to spin jump through that, not grab it for a shell jump. Oh, what else? Oh, I can actually talk about stuff other than the overworld now. But yeah, no, yesterday went to a guy's birthday party, which was pretty fun. Drank some whiskey and chilled. Out with Fistbit, and then went and played some pinball. Actually did really well. There's new code for X-Men, and I'm still a little bit not sure I love it the most, but I think it is probably a positive change. Wait, what? Maybe I misunderstand that obstacle. Myth should go on Expert, or even Mastered the last few sections. Takashi Jumping Simulator should go on Master. I will make a note to bring that up in the appropriate space, i.e. the Discord threads, or sub-Discord channel, or however the hell it works. But yeah, having played it recently-ish, I can at least say that no, it is not. Oh, that's gotta go first. Not even back at the part where I'm confused yet. But yeah, after playing the new X-Men, so the key difference is that, one, well, there's like 2 or 3 key differences. Oh, dang it. But basically now, instead of the cadence being every 2 modes you complete, you go to the future, which is another mode where you need to make like 4 shots to get out of it. They've changed it so that after every single mode completion, you now go to the future, which is now a 40-second timed mode, where you need to get 6 shots, 6 sentinel shots, and then hit the center ramp to escape the future. And the nice thing is, now you get the future benefit stuff in the past as well, so you actually get more benefit from saving certain characters. There's other ones where I think they probably should revamp the actual reward. They probably have. I need to go double check. The rule sheet right now is kind of a mess. But like Professor X's bonus was never all that good. Oh yeah, I can build up Danger Room while I'm in the future. You don't want to be in the Danger Room in the future. The only real thing I don't like about it is, like, I often will mode stack multi-balls. Or a multi-ball with some of the harder modes. Just because I feel like for Storm or for Colossus, it's kind of worthwhile. Colossus especially, because you need to hit a bunch of... Yeah, that wasn't it. Master starts at a higher difficulty than Old Expert, so some of the easier Expert hacks move down to the new Expert. Gotcha. I think. But yeah, no, I like to stack those, especially Colossus. And what I found is that, like, instead of immediately punting you into the future, it waits for the multi-ball to end. But then you don't get, like, the lock, where it physically locks the ball for a second, that you would normally get when you enter. And so it just punts you into the mode while your last ball is wherever the hell it wants to be, which I just don't like. That's my one complaint. The other complaint I have is they made it so you can no longer mode stack 2 of the multi-balls. You can't stack Sentinel multi-ball along with, to me, my X-Men. Which are like the 2 easy ones to get. Like, Sentinel is the big, obvious thing to do. There's a big head in the middle of the field. What do? You smack it with balls until it does something. I also feel like they made it a lot easier to start that mode. Like, I found myself accidentally ending up in it way earlier than I wanted to. Sometimes. It's one of those very bizarre things, like when you first start in pinball, you're like, yay, I got multi-ball! And then the more I play pinball, the more I'm like, dang it, I got multi-ball! I didn't want it right then. I'm busy doing something else, and this multi-ball doesn't help. But yeah, wherever it ended up is probably due to a standard conversion that wasn't, you know... There's a lot of work still to be done, mostly for other people. But I'm happy to bring up some things, and I do think that I'm probably going to have to be like, here is how I feel about these puzzle ones, because I don't think too many other people love puzzles as much as I do. Midway! It's always been labeled needs remoderation. That's actually kind of funny. Yeah, there's a lot of shell jumps in this one, but, you know, it's again, like mentioned, I need more Kaizo practice. I don't play enough Kaizo. Especially going to GDQ, I feel like I should at least put a little bit of work in. This hack looks dreadful? Oh, it's fine. Oh, wait, you're probably not talking about the specific one. You're probably talking about one of Hawaluta's? Or... like, this is a pretty normal Kaizo level as far as things go. In fact, I realize I don't even need to do regrabs for those. I just bonk right across. Say the first few rooms of Myth of Mana weren't bad. The 4 ones. I don't know if I liked part of the white room. The green room, I think, was probably the best. In terms of it being fun. I did like the fact the blue room actually intentionally wants you to do the climb on air glitch, which I think is fun. Get me closer. And I've never seen this Yump simulator thing. Which shouldn't surprise anybody, really. There's a lot of Kaizo hacks I'm unfamiliar with, mostly because I only watch people play them. I don't really play them as much myself. And I'm mostly just Juzz. I don't watch anyone else on YouTube who does them. So I'll watch whatever random thing Glitch is playing, or when people are online, sometimes when I want some background noise when I'm working on stuff. Just not used to Kaizo. That's fair. Like, there are certain things about, like, the nature of Kaizo that you can just see and know what you're supposed to do, but if you don't have the background, it makes sense. Anymore, gotcha. Also, do you resting for GDQ? Yeah. Ah, dang it. I'm throwing too early. But otherwise... just want to play Notia consistently. Every time I see that, my brain rewrites it to Nokia. And I get very confused. I don't think Hawaluta's running anything in particular, but the way GDQ works for anyone who's not a runner is basically they hang out in the prep. Oh, that's what I need to do. Wait, what? No, I know! I keep rereading it as Nokia as opposed to Noitia. Noitia? But in my mind, it just turns to Nokia. I don't know why. I just started thinking about phones that play Snake. Noita. Yeah, okay, fine, Noita, sure. But I keep looking at them and like, yeah, it's Nokia. It's a dungeon crawler that's on your phone. Hell, use a phone as a weapon. You equip phones as your armor. That's just how it works. Anyway, I've literally seen... aside from you talking about it, I know nothing about this game. Anyway, I was gonna say, like, I wasn't certain whether or not I'd be able to stream today. How? Bonk it. How do I do that part? There's something I'm missing here. No idea. Glaven. But yeah, I wasn't sure. But then I looked at the list of things I wanted to get done before heading to GDQ, and I'm like, I really, really just need to do this now. Okay, how do I do that? Why is he... Oh, I see it. I need to land on him from the left side. I've been landing on him from the right side. See? Simple as. Wasn't ready for that. But yeah, looking at the things I want to get done this week, that it'll be trickier. Really just have Monday and Tuesday to do certain types of streaming that require more setup or just more time. So 2 of them that need to happen, because otherwise they're just not going to happen. Dang it. Yeah, I want to finish Bob Is You. I'm 5 puzzles away, 2 of which I think I know how to solve, 1 of which I have some ideas, but we'll need to play with it more. And 2 I've yet to find, though I have ideas of where to find them. Ow. I was too busy looking at the future. Just pack some stuff and hope it goes well. I mean, that's more or less my plan, too. I'm not packing a whole lot. I'm going to take some laptops. I'm going to take some of the stuff I need for the East Coast. I'll probably bring a capture device. I'm not bringing a microphone. I don't anticipate streaming while I'm there. Can't decide if you want to bring your cubes or not. Didn't actually use them. That's the magic card thing, right? Too sensible to put up a list of things to do. I mean, there's 2 things I really expect I'm going to do while I'm there. One is, without a doubt, at some point I want to go over to LITT, L-I-T-T, which is a pinball bar we went to last time. And by we, I mean, like, I think Hawaluta. I think you were there, Hawaluta. But Glitchcat and others were there too, and it was cool. It was really just a nice bar. In fact, my basic plan is, if I miss badge check-in, I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm going over here. If anyone wants to join, come with. And if no one wants to go, whatever. I'll go have fun playing pinball. I know the pinball place, I know that the GDQ, they've released a list of arcade games and pinball stuff that they're going to have. And it's a good list. They're going to have King Kong. They're going to have a John Wick again. They're going to have, I think they're going to have a Deadpool this time, which, yeah, Deadpool. And then a few others, I think, but unfortunately no Black Knight 2000, which honestly I love. I love Black Knight 2000 so much. It's the game that finally really got me into nudging more frequently. It's very good for teaching that, because the game is basically 100% nudging. Not like 100%, but like... nudging is the thing you need to do. Is that it? Did I beat it? Midway! But yeah. Because, like, the entire point of Black Knight 2000 is to stay on the upper field. And in order to do that, you need to push the machine vertically upward to convince it to stay up there. The ball will stay up there. I also saw that the Black Knight, or that LITT, the bar, has a Black Knight Sword of Rage limited edition, which I've never seen. I've seen Premium once. It just doesn't appear to be a very common machine. But yeah, I'm more or less like things I need to finish beforehand rather than stuff I'm going to do while I'm there. I'm also probably going to at some point, assuming there's like no runs I'm interested in an afternoon, head over to the art museum. I like visiting art museums in different cities. Oftentimes they're pretty crap, but still a few things I should take pictures of before I head out. Like stuff I got in Japan that was cool and I should post somewhere, like Discord or Twitter. Got a mug from a museum, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who will have one of those mugs in, like, thousands of miles. It was one of those, I saw it, I had to have it. It was a little bit annoying, because he doesn't sell a lot of mugs. And so he had to, like, go find his suitcase containing the mugs and other various merchandise and wheel it out. And then I didn't have very good money to make change. I felt really bad about that, actually. Should have had some smaller bills on me, but whatever. You know how it works. The ATM only gives you large denomination yen. Oh, maybe I land over there. Depending on time, yeah, that's the thing, is I just need to figure out what afternoon it would be where it's not a problem. And it's not far away, like, both the pinball bar and the art museum are, like, less than 2 miles away, so if it's a nice enough day, I'll just walk. Otherwise, that's spring for an Uber or a cab or whatever. Don't know if their dichotomy there matters. American ATM? No, this is a Japanese ATM. And yes, they do, but, like, I didn't care at the time. Like, having 10,000 yen bills is not that big of a deal in most places that take cash. The problem, of course, being is that, like, it's a tiny indie museum. And oftentimes they do. They'll let you make some choices, but usually you get a bunch of 20s, or possibly hundreds, depending upon what you ask. So, like, I know that there's one ATM in Ballard I've been to, in the BECU credit union office, or credit union bank lobby, that will let you choose denominations, and I did actually select higher than 20s. Which reminds me, at some point I do need to go and get Squiggles the money I owe him, which is why I had done that. But yeah, no, like, this dude just... It was just one guy. Like, he wasn't a proper business. He didn't track in a lot of cash, so he had to go find the change. It was a little bit of a dick move on my part, I will be 100% honest. But yeah, the mug itself is kind of hilarious. He's not the guy who runs the museum, did the art himself. And you can tell he loves that character a lot, but his art skills are not amazing. Like, I don't want to disparage him too much, just because it's clearly like a passion thing for him. Oh, I need to just kick it fast. But yeah, very much depends upon the ATM. There's a non-trivial number of different kinds of ATMs, varying from, like, proper good bank ones that are your bank and you can use them, to, like, the generic credit union ones, and then finally the, you know, sketchy ATM that's at, like, I don't know, let's say a pinball bar. And those frequently do not let you make choices and charge you far more money than you expect based upon the menus they give you. Not that I'm angry about that or anything. It's also the only ATM anywhere near there. Did have an experience where hundreds were actually a problem. Last Friday, I had drunkenly volunteered to run the merch table for a local band, when they had merch. And I'm like, because one time they had a show, I'm like, hey, you have a shirt? I want a shirt. Where can I buy a shirt? He's like, I'll get you a shirt with this. And so anyway, but yeah, they finally called that in last Friday, and so I went and did that, which was fun. In all honesty, it is fun to heckle people and deal with the public sometimes. What's hilarious is right after I got set up, drummer came over and said, Pat, you're not gonna sell anything. And right then, some dude walked up to it, and I'm like, prove the drummer wrong. Buy a t-shirt right now. And he's like, yeah, all right. Pulls out 20 bucks, buys a t-shirt then and there. All in all, I sold 10 t-shirts, which, not bad, more than they expected. But at least one dude only had hundreds to pay with, and he wanted to buy 2 t-shirts, and I did not have enough change to cover. So I had actually brought a bunch of ones, my leftover pinball ones, because usually I burn the 5s and turn those into either beer or quarters and keep the ones because I make bad decisions. want to go a little bit left. I should assume it's not going to hit the well because I'm not going fast enough. But yeah, that doesn't help you when the t-shirts all cost $20. Like, that greatly simplified things, but basically if people didn't have 20s, that became a little bit of a problem. And some people didn't have 20s. It's a very shell-jumpy level. And like I said, one dude came in with 100. He ended up going to another bar and trying to break it. Because he looked at the line at the bar in the venue we were at and decided no, wasn't interested in that. Anyway. But yeah, I keep starting and then stopping. There's at least a couple of things that need to get done this week. The other one is the MagFest thing. Kind of like the PAX report. It's kind of fun, just show off a bunch of indie stuff that happened that I saw at MagFest. The problem being is that MagFest has happened almost 6 months ago. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and then I don't, so I'm just going to do it Tuesday. There's a little bit of prep work to do. I need to put a bunch of NES ROMs on my EverDrive, and I need to also like set up Game Boy Advance emulation stuff, which I generally don't do much of. Turns out MSN supports Game Boy Advance. That solves a lot of problems, because I already have like a MSN capture region set up right now that I could just pick up and reuse from trying to play some other hacks. But... And then there's always the... Like, I've installed the Steam games, but I need to, like, do all of the audio balancing. Because you're going to play multiple games in a session, you have to balance the audio. It's one of the irritatingly tricky bits about streaming, is getting audio right. Because if audio's bad, it's just not fun. Like, if the audio is too loud, you can't hear the streamer. If the audio is too quiet, well, you can't hear the game. You want to get it just right. Some people use audio ducking for that purpose, but I just can't get behind it. I find that's a lot more annoying than just having the game a little bit lower. I think Monotone Tim did that frequently, just audio ducking, but like I don't think it's very popular anymore. Like, none of the streamers I watch, I don't think do it. I don't think Juz does it. I don't think GlitchCat does it. Yeah, it's very distracting. That's why I don't think it's a good solution. Like, I get why people do it. It is convenient. It solves a hard problem in an easy way. But, again, I just don't think it sounds... Yeah, it doesn't sound good enough. Like, I value my audio quality. There's a thing I put work into, unfortunately. Like, anytime I'm playing a game, I first go in and try at least my best to balance out the audio quality. I do think that in the future, there will probably be, like, useful like, I would hope, like, what I want is, like, a sound test. I don't know if people, like... So, when you were installing a game in DOS, they would usually give you a sound test to make sure that you actually set up your sound card correctly. And you could hear sounds from the game, usually in stereo. It'd be like, zoom, zoom, for Star Trek things. And then play a little bit of music to guarantee you set up that correctly, because music and audio would usually come from other separate sources. So, like, you would use the Sound Blaster part to handle the various game noises, and then you'd use a different audio component to handle the music. Typically some sort of MIDI player. The games didn't usually do, like, soft mixing on their own to solve the problem. There were some games that did a fun thing where they would use the Sound Blaster output for music and then would use the PC speaker beeps for the noises. I think some of the Commander Keen games might have worked this way. Or had the option to, at least. You like it when the player's beep blooper makes... Yeah. I've said on multiple occasions, one of these days I'm going to boot up Xenon 2 Mega Blast and then not stop talking for like 6 minutes so y'all can appreciate the bleepy bloopiness of Xenon 2 Mega Blast. Because it has a beautiful rendition of an actual musical song made by a real musician. Not to say like Bobby Prince isn't a real musician or anything. But there's a very big difference between like someone who had been making music beforehand and worked into this as opposed to someone who like just makes music in the context of games. And this was a track that a particular producer, I suppose would be the right term, made for Xenon 2 Mega Blast. Okay. Nope. Disk drives and fans. Anything with a stepper motor. Like floppy disk music, very common kind of thing in that genre. But yeah, stepper motors can make specific frequencies of sound. So that's a thing you can do. By moving at specific speeds. From here to there. One of those things I've never actually played with. I've never actually, like, gone and gotten a stepper motor to, like, do something. I was never much of a robotics person. Other things I kind of want to get done this week. This one's actually getting done, as a guarantee. On Sunday, we're going to have Squiggles, and we're going to do the 4-Job Fiesta kickoff thing that we usually do, and figure out what our gimmick is going to be. Because we've been waylaid by various things for quite some time, so we hadn't gotten around to doing it in all of June. Other than that, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, I don't think I could stream if I wanted to, and if I did want to, it'd need to be, like, in the morning. My time. Because it's the 4th of July here, and if I'm streaming at night, there's just going to be random firework noises. To be honest, probably Saturday, too, because you can never celebrate freedom enough. Oh, that's something I miss. I used to do 4th of July parties for me and my friends, and one of the things I loved the most was the mandatory freedom celebration. Named so because Squiggles refused to participate one year, so we decided it was now mandatory. But basically would get large firecrackers and blow up fruits and vegetables. And you'd have to yell, "Freedom!" after you lit the fuse to let people know that the fuse had been lit and that they should, you know, cover their ears or move a bit further away to avoid having pieces of fruit on them. It was fun. The last time we did this, I actually managed to... So there were some problems. Like, one, Washington, you're not allowed to buy fireworks legally. Just straight up. Not a thing you can do in Washington. There's state law against buying fireworks. Now, of course, there's a difference between buying fireworks and setting them off. And so, in certain parts of the state, fireworks are perfectly fine. King County, the largest county in Washington by population, fairly recently added some sort of statute to say, no, you may not set off fireworks anymore, so that's kind of a bummer. But for the longest time, you could set off fireworks, but you couldn't own them. One of those sorts of catch-22 situations. I'm getting there. I am allowed to buy them illegally. So, what you do, if you want to get fireworks that are not completely lame, because, like, you can buy tiny, lame, I think it's sparklers. I think sparklers are still allowed. But, like, sparklers are lame. So what you do is you go out to the reservations and go to one of the boom towns. So a little bit off of the freeway on any given Indian reservation, you'll find a boom town, which is basically a giant open-air mall of all things fireworks. The weirdest thing really is they're all buying from the same guys in the back lot that we're not allowed to buy from. So like when they run low on a specific type of firework, they just go to the back lot. And you can see them doing that. They got hand trucks and everything to get their fireworks. And all of them have funny names. But they all sell pretty much the same stuff. Like I said, they're all buying from the same people. We just have to buy them. They buy them from China. We buy them from the Native Americans. So for the longest time, they couldn't sell you M80s or any other large explosive. And every time I'd go up there, I'm like, I want something that'll blow up a watermelon. And they'd try to sell me loose artillery shells. I'm like, I don't want to propel the watermelon. I simply want to make it explode. I do not want to have the risk of having it fly away before it explodes. But apparently, somehow, some company, this was a few years back, finally found a way to package an M80 such that they didn't run afoul of import regulations or whatever. And as long as it whistled a little bit before it blew up, that's the best I could figure. But we finally got something that would adequately blow up a piece of fruit, a watermelon, and so I did, in fact, blow up a watermelon. I have a tiny, grainy video of me blowing up said watermelon that someone sent me, which I'm kind of sad because the quality was crap. But I did blow up a watermelon and yell freedom, so it was all good. There were even some little kids from other places in the neighborhood who were very excited. I'm like, this is going to explode. You do not want to be standing right next to it. But we had a pretty safe spot to do that. It was like near the lake. It was at a friend's mom's house. Is that my profile pic? No. I just love the cat pushing the watermelon out of the lake. The tail of my profile pic is also a very silly thing. I was watching Trihex once, and he was doing a giveaway, and you just had to say something in chat or whatever. And he said, yeah, no, you gotta have a profile pic. Anyone's a basic bitch, I'm just gonna disqualify. And I'm like, fuck it. I actually know this. I'm going to win this raffle. I better change my profile pic immediately. So I did. Not fast enough. I actually did win the raffle. But he's like, no, Pat CDR, no profile pic, basic bitch. So he drew another name. One of those times that even predestination can't stop the unfortunate things. 4th of July is Friday this week. Excited to work as you do special lunches. Oh, nice. You gonna do like barbecue or something? Come on. Anyway, the cat with the watermelon thing, literally just the first picture I could grab. I think I'd use it as a profile pic in other places, so I didn't like have to resize it or anything, but that's why it's that, and I've just stuck with it because of inertia. I am in talks with, dang it, with Mascot. Messaged him yesterday to see about getting larger file sizes for my emotes so that I can turn them into stickers, because I want stickers of them. I want stickers of the cat orb one for Pat CDR GG and Pat Cutter Butter. Do something like that for the residents. They don't even have the option to dine outside and get additional. Oh, nice! Yeah, if the weather's nice, I can see that being beautiful. Weather was actually really nice today, and it's probably going to be that way tomorrow, hopefully. Dang it! Keep holding down and left. How do people do on this level? I haven't looked yet. August sticker, that could be fun. Took fur nap, an hour 45. Alright. I won't, well, if I'm gonna order stickers, I'm probably going to get a fair number of them, so I might do that too. We'll see. It depends upon the costs and everything, and especially if, whether or not Mascot can find those files. Which is kind of the biggest thing, is like, I messaged Mascot and realized I hadn't talked to him in 5 years. So it was a bit of a... He was a bit surprised, too. I messaged him out of the blue about it. Hope he liked the message. I built it after the... Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such emotes as this and the aforementioned terrible butter monster. Alright, I got another shot at this. Well... Oh, there's a midway! I can see it. Okay. It was hot and rainy week. It was awful. Oh, I bet. Nothing quite like humidity and heat to sap the will to live. Right, the only thing that's worse than being wet and hot is being wet and cold. Just as a true statement. No. But yeah. I'm kind of excited. Haven't done some traveling in like a month or so, and my wanderlust has not been sated this year. It'll be nice to go somewhere I haven't been in a while, or really haven't been much at all. There's a very big difference when you're traveling between going somewhere for something very specific and actually visiting a location. So, like, I don't feel like... I guess, no, I've been to a little bit of Vegas that wasn't on the Strip, but not by much. Haven't really been to much of LA. My sister lived there, and I visited her once when she lived there, and even then, I didn't really see much of it. We did go to Grist's Observatory, which I think was probably the coolest thing. And the Japantown. That's got some food there. But, like... The thing about LA is you can feel you've been there before because you've seen so much of it in various movies. Like, LA, just kind of like New York, has its own character. Recognizable character. Chicago does too, but Chicago doesn't get to be in as many movies because Chicago is Chicago. And I haven't really been to Chicago either. Like, When I went to Chicago, I've been 3 times. Well, I think I've been more when I was a young child, but it doesn't really count that way. Dang it. But yeah, I've been there 3 times. The first was to go and was a stopover when I was taking the train all the way through. And that was only a few hours, so I didn't really have time to do much. So I walked over to the shore of the lake, saw the big old bean, because Chicago has this big reflecting bean. Could not resist the temptation to send my sister a picture of it and say, hey, that's why they call Chicago Beantown. They don't call Chicago Beantown. Boston is Beantown, for reasons unrelated to giant beans. And got a pizza. Second time, I planned better. I went to what is known as the Willis Tower, which is a very funny way of spelling the word Sears. And saw that. It was like a little mini Chicago museum, and of course had to talk about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, since they went to that spot. If you wanted to pay a bit more and wait around longer, you could stand on top of a glass box, allowing you to just look out into the void under the building of Chicago, in Chicago. I didn't feel the need to do this. And then I got a pizza and went and got on my train. Because the thing about Amtrak is, if you miss the train, there's not another one. That's like a daily train at best. So had I missed it, I would have been kind of in bad shape. Especially because I had a sleeper car, a sleeper seat. And if I lost that, then I wouldn't be sleeping. Waited too long. And that was the longer leg. Like, if I had to take one leg and not have a sleeper, it would be the Chicago to DC, because that wouldn't be nearly as bad, but, like, dang it. The Chicago to Seattle, nightmarishly long. It's like 3 days. Like, I'm reverting. It's not good that way. It's a long level. We've had... Well, this is we have 3 sections so far, and there could be I'm gonna guess there's a 4th. Anyway, other things I'd like to do at least one UFO 50 thing this week. I'd like to beat Min and Max. I think I'm close-ish, and by beat I do mean complete. Like, I've got almost all of the items. The ones I'm missing, I'm going to assume have some weird property. I also want to learn... I want to beat it so I can learn more about how it works. Because the more I thought about it, the less it made sense. So, like, I got all of the egg things that increase my throw damage, right? And the more I thought about it, I'm like, there's an awful lot of space to become very small in this game when you add in the internal and external spaces. The odds that the places I was looking were those specific 8 spots seems relatively low. So I'm going to legitimately guess that there are a lot more of those objects in the world than you could ever pick up. So, just as a general thing. There we go. I don't know how to do that part. So yeah, I'd love to like sit down and read someone's notes about how that works, because I'm curious, but I don't want to do it until after I beat the game. That's important to me. I just needed to clip that jump a little bit, and I think I could have made it. I don't think that's like a little re-grab jump. I think it's just a clip jump. But anyway, things I'd like to do. And then, beyond that, like, if I have a good... I'm probably not going to. But if I had a good time to do it, I would consider trying to do an Adventures in Adver Gaming, because I've got a couple of those set up, and I've just not done them. Not finished them. Which I'll admit right now is a bit silly. I shall see if Tom 7 ever replied to my thing, telling him about TNY World being broken in a weird way. Okay. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I really need to do is I've almost done with the Metroid thing. I just need to do... There's a lot of work I need to do for the Metroid thing. I just need to see if the proof of concept's working on the... I need to get... That's what I need to do tomorrow is write... message Lars about that. Or, yeah, I need to message a guy named Lars. That's a different Lars. Different thing entirely. I forgot about that. But, yeah, I need to message the... doing something for me, a commission thing that's unrelated to anything useful stream-wise, so I don't think I should continue talking about it. Just one of those, fuck, I need to do that. But otherwise, one of the other things I need to do, because this is actively starting to piss me off, my phone... My phone's charging port's gotten irritatingly loose. So, like, I use wired headphones, and now sometimes when I'm putting my phone back in my pocket, it'll short somehow, and will, like, turn off the earphones, the headphones, which is just really annoying. It also occasionally would just lower the volume to nothingness, because apparently the pins that control that were getting bridged or something. So, I'm gonna take it in and get that repaired. Hopefully, like, Tuesday or something. There's a phone repair place that's not terribly far away, and I've had them fix a couple screens. They've been adequate. Like, I'm not really sure I care a whole lot more about it beyond being adequate. Like, they did the right thing. They replaced the screen. That's what I paid them to do. It's not a creative endeavor. Screen replacement. So I don't really want them doing anything too creative. But, they, again, did adequately. Last time I didn't have anything else to do when that was happening, so I just grabbed my book and read it for a bit. I think the time before that, I think they had, like, a Calvin and Hobbes book, and I ended up reading a chunk of that. Fun fact I learned, I think yesterday, there was a period of time in like the early 80s where there were 7 different Garfield books all on the New York Times bestseller list, which I think is really funny. Hard to express how much people actually used to like Garfield as opposed to what it's become. Legitimately of the belief that Jim Davis is completely checked out and there's just like a group of people he is hired to just manage the whole thing. I think that one might have been okay. That one wasn't though. Just other thoughts like what if I can stream out on the East Coast, what would I stream? And kind of thinking Pokemon might be a good choice. Not quite sure yet. I can't really do like 6-hour long request playthroughs when I'm on the East Coast. Because I usually need to do them after everyone else is sleeping. And I can't quite keep the same kind of degenerate sleep schedule I do here. Because those people usually have things they need to do and, you know. And also I want to enjoy visiting my family and not just sleep until like 2 p.m. So, not sure I'll actually be able to fix my degenerate sleep schedule before I go out there. I'm probably just going to be exhausted come that Monday. We'll see. Spent a couple days trying, but it has not been very fruitful, and today was no exception. I also didn't try very hard yesterday. I went to sleep around 5 a.m. Boop. There we go. That obstacle's really hard for me, I don't know why. Like, I feel I need to be slower somewhere else in the system for it to work, but... What? Well, that's never happened before. Yeah, if I did stream on, like, 4th of July, it would have to be something absurdly, overly patriotic. I don't know if I'll end up doing it. Too slow. Oh, what else is happening? I'll be curious if I can actually do as well at John Wick at GDQ, because the version that I'm used to playing on is Premium, and I've discovered that Premium makes getting certain multi-balls a lot easier. Like, you only have to fill out the Winston thing once to get 3-ball locks, but you have to do it more times on Standard, which is kind of weird. There's definitely cases where, like, the Premium version makes things easier to a ridiculous extent. Not to a ridiculous extent, but, like, it makes it easier in a good way, I guess. Like, Foo Fighters is the example in my book, because the difference between the Premium and Pro, or the Standard and Premium, is that there's an upper table for the Area 51 ramp, and when you're on that part of the ramp, when you're trying to get that multi-ball on the regular version, you just have to hit the ramp like 6 times. Still, it's a fairly high number, but like, you're playing a longish game, that's not that big of a deal. The ramp's kind of steep, but on the Premium version, it instead has a upper playing field with its own flipper and targets you need to hit to start the multi-ball. And those targets and other things can also be used in other modes to kind of fill in shots. That was another change they made to X-Men I'm a little bit unsure of. Is they changed the way the action button works. There we go. Finally! What do you want to do before GDQ is go through your games and see which would be cool for co-op? Yeah, that would be fun. That's one thought that I actually had at a little bit earlier. Was like, if I was going to do like a stream at GDQ, what would it be? And I think like doing a co-op thing would be fun. But I'm not really sure where that idea is going yet. Plus, I don't want to schlep my microphone over there. I need to either hope that the microphone that exists inside the MacBook is good enough, or, what is it? What's the word I was going for? Or borrow one from someone. I imagine there's probably someone on Prem who I could borrow a microphone if they were nice enough, but I'm not buying another one. I already have a second one on the East Coast, and I'm tired of schlepping the one I currently have across the country. It's also gotten rather deformed. I want to bring 2 controllers. It turns out one has stopped working. Use a micro USB cable, which I thought was the issue. You got another one that doesn't work either. Oof. I need to not do that. You respect my opinion. What do you think? What do I think about the new rating system? Just found out about it and very confused. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not thrilled. Also, how you doing, first name, bud? Yeah, I'm not thrilled about it. I think it took away useful information in hacks that had blended ideas, but I wasn't really party to the choice, and most people seem much more gung-ho about it than I do. I just think it's probably just going to confuse people more, and the idea that people use SMW Central as a way to find hacks while wanting to respect the difficulty stuff seems not correct to me. Like, my suspicion is the vast majority of people, one, they play whatever hacks they see streamers play. So, like, if Juz is playing a hack, it's very likely they'll just go there and download it. Oh, that was closer. And if you actually care about Kaizo difficulty, it's usually better to have one person's recommendation than the kind of conglomeration that we have currently. So, like, looking at GlitchCat's list, or looking at Katoon's list, or looking at anyone's list that has difficulty on it. So, that's my general opinion, is I think it's just going to be a lot of rearranging deck chairs, and it's not going to fix the ultimate problem we have, is that, like, these difficulty categories are weird anyway. But, yeah. Jump 2 is being remoderated, now it's expert with standard and Kaizo's type. Does that mean it's standard ultra hard levels alongside Kaizo beginner levels, or Kaizo standard hard? Yeah, play and find out. That's pretty much it. Like, I think that having the parallel difficulties was more useful information than reducing everything to a single number. My example of this would have to be the time I moderated a hack that was made for literally a 4-year-old that contained a Kaizo level in it. I would have had to... In fact, actually, we still have that problem. Little Miss Ad World is now going to be at a higher difficulty than it was before because... Oh, hey, I beat that part. Did I win? No. It's going to be at a higher difficulty because, like, it's meant for a small child. Like, Little Miss Ad is Ad Dad's kid, his daughter. And she was probably 6 when that came out. And she made a couple levels for it. It was cute. But at the end, there were some people, including Blue Ribbon High Life, who made Kaizo levels in the special world for it. So now it's going to be ranked based upon the Kaizo difficulty, whereas none of the levels are hard. They're meant to teach a child how to play Mario, if that makes sense. Like... Why does this look familiar? I've played this part. Have I played this one before? Hold up. Yeah, no, don't do that. I feel I've actually played this level. Did I do this again? 173? No. If I did play this, this might have been forever ago. Maybe I watched the end of the race, because this looks familiar to me. Edge case like that is probably playing some definition of text. Maybe? But I feel like I don't know if it's still the meta, but like, here's a normal hack, and then I've added 3 Kaizo levels to the end of it. Used to be the meta for standard for a while. And it's just weird to me that we're moving over to a system that removes that useful information. Still baffled. The hack you made for your father is expert, probably because of glitches. I mean, my guess right now is that nobody has actually looked at it, and that it was just done as part of the automated movement system. Like, they just translated all of this type of hack into this number. I definitely think that if you have a hack and you think that the current ranking is wrong, you should definitely speak up. Anybody, not just Blueberry Bunny. Definitely mention it to somebody. Even if that person is me. So... Yeah, again, like, I just don't think that was the way that people found hacks frequently, to the point where it would actually matter. Huh. Well, that wasn't it. For now, things look wrong since autofill difficulty... Yes, so it'll get better over time. It's going to take some time to get better, just because it's not an immediate process. Like, remoderation has happened a few times in SMW Central's history, and it's not quick. In fact, when I was first a moderator, there was one of the moderators was working on remoderating all the standard hacks at some point, or all the Kaizo hacks at some point to readjust difficulties. I think that project hit the... crap. Eventually ended up being bad, but you know how it goes. Yeah, exactly. People have to adjust. Again, I don't think it was a really good change, but there were people who really wanted it, so whatever. That's my general opinion. That's hard, because I keep wanting to walk forward and ends up spawning the Koopa early. In all honesty, a lot of people don't know about item respawning glitch. You learned it from watching your favorite tool spin, and that looked pretty cool. Went from ROM hacking to lots of glitches. What kind of... explain more. What kind of item respawning glitch do you mean? Like, if I throw this P-switch off a cliff, it goes back to where it was? Kind of thing? Or is it a different item respawning glitch? It's not really a glitch that item respawns, but you know what I mean. Like, I need to know a little bit more to give any reasonable guidance on that. Fair enough. 6 comments, and the majority of them are stuck on the speech bubble. Alright, you know what? That's fair then. I'm curious to learn about this glitch, because I definitely, apparently do not I'm not as aware of it as I thought I might be. No. Oh yeah, that's a tag that I think has always been silly. Low ROM. Does anyone care that they're playing a hack that's low ROM versus high ROM? No! No one in the history of the universe has ever cared about that except possibly Max. Dang it. We're at the new place being extra confused. It'll work out in time. Kaizo Light was before them. I liked Kaizo Light as a term, I'm going to be honest. This is a fun term. Any sprite falls in the abyss, you can come back to Wars. Really? That's... I'm actually a bit shocked. I expect an awful lot of even... Yeah, I guess that's more of a standard thing when I think about it. Or abusing it is more of a standard thing the more I think about it. X-Hiram demo world, the legend continued. Really? That one uses that? Huh. Like I said, no one has ever cared about the specific mapper. Not even expansion ship. I mean, literally map. I mean, it is an expansion. Well, yeah, there's a... whatever. Doesn't matter. The specific definition does not matter. The way that it lays out ROM in the address space is not the important part of any given hack. Unless you're trying to cram a ridiculous amount of stuff into a small bag, a la 6-pack. And things like 6-pack come around once in a blue moon. But like I said, I think the discovery for Kaizo stuff largely comes through streamers. I think that you very rarely get someone who's like, yes, I want to play Kaizo now, and I don't really know where to start without knowing it. Without being aware of some stuff. And that's why people like Juz or Barb have put out videos explaining, yeah, here's what you do if you want to get started. Suggest QQ aids or whatever the current meta for newbies is. Suggest the learning hacks. Learn Kaizo to learn, etc. Or learn to Kaizo, either way. Dang it. Okay, how the Spooky Switch level works. You can press the switch, P-switch, and despite it being pressed, if it despawns fast enough, it can come back and be used again. Not the Yoshi variant of reusing. Ah, that's interesting. I did not know that. You first start by getting a friend to make a challenge to hack you. If only we were all so lucky. Just up throw it near a ledge and press carefully. The P-switch turns to the clouds. It's gone forever. Okay. You know what? Not aware of that particular thing, but that makes sense to me. If we were all so lucky to have a friend like T. Takamoto. One of those things I still wonder. What does he do? He's probably got a job, he may have kids now, maybe he's a professor, maybe he works in a grocery store, who knows? Whatever happened to T. Takamoto? And there's something I kind of appreciate about the weird way an awful lot of Japanese people, especially on the line, just prefer complete anonymity. They're like, no, people don't need to know I do this. I'm perfectly content to just do my own hobby, and no one else in my life needs to know or care. And my wife doesn't know I have a job. I like to keep these things separate. A lot of standard hacks are going to move into Expert or Master. Things will be more sensible. Standard players finding hacks for the search function more than Kaizo players? Probably. According to this, no standard hack is worthy of being Master. Yeah. That's the thing, though. I'd rather play a Kaizo Intermediate hack than many of the standard very hard hacks. Because the difficulty in most standard very hard hacks comes from, now who's ready for a 15-minute gauntlet? I'll give you a mushroom every few screens, but still, it's time to go. Enjoy a giant gauntlet. Which has unfortunately become something of the meta. Though I guess that means that one... way harder than Kaizo. I think the overall ceiling for Kaizo can be a lot higher, especially in terms of execution. But, until you get to the high ends of standard, it definitely is not harder than most Kaizo. And even then, the low end of Kaizo, you take your Rob Father Worlds, your Cute Kaizo, those are not terribly difficult. You don't need to understand too many tricks. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that assertion. Like I said, I don't think this is a great plan. I think it really does remove useful information, because I think that the two difficulties were, to some extent, orthogonal difficulties. Like, what makes a standard hack difficult is not what makes a Kaizo hack difficult. You can have really short sections that are exceptionally hard to execute. And those are very different things. Something I kind of like about the various Maddie hacks, right, is like short sections, but hard to do. Very different kind of difficult than basically anything you see in the upper echelons of standard hard. Especially when we're comparing things like Jump. I think Jump's a pretty easy example. The two hardest levels on the two difficulty scales are, without a doubt, Depraved Stronghold, long-ass gauntlet, and 1F0. 1F8. No surprises there, to be honest. Because 1F8 is a difficult Kaizo level, made by Anon, and Depraved Stronghold is made by Yelpy. Let's be honest with ourselves. I don't think Yelpy could not make a terribly hard and long level. That's just who he is. So... something, something, something all the way from New Jersey. Which I think if there wasn't lag, I probably wouldn't care as much. Like, Jump was still in that era where people weren't really making games for making hacks. Where's that go? With the expectation they would run well on real hardware. Emulation has improved massively, and people's CPUs have picked up enough that you can more easily run BSNES or run Messen or whatever. Point-and-click puzzle from last QL season, casual misc puzzle. Oh, I didn't know Fire submitted that as a hack. Assuming Fire did, you might just be trolling me here. Bowser's Hideout 2. I think I've played Bowser's Hideout 2. Let me check some. I have in fact played it. I moderated it in 2021. Huh. Hasn't been just a hypothetical puzzle rating. Yeah. Fall Guys World's gonna be master. Bear with Kaizo's pretty high. Place Invictus in a similar place to Ultra High Standard. Ultra Hard Standard, at least in closer comparable. See some people never able to make headway into Kaizo, but it's subjective. I think the thing is Kaizo has a burden of knowledge that Standard generally doesn't need to you don't need to have. Like, regrabs, really important. You can play through pretty much a lot of standard stuff without needing to do. I really should play Fall Guys. Well, I don't know why I haven't done that yet. That was on my list of like random things to play. Now, Puzzle Axe, I think, is probably going to end up having to be its own thing, and there's probably going to have to be a discussion. And as a person who likes puzzles and has played a lot of standard ones, a lot of the ones recently, like I went through and played Catastrophe again recently. I did Logic recently-ish. Reverie, I moderated that. I'm one of the few people who've beaten that one. As I well know, because people will ask me for help on YouTube. Be like, oh, hey, wait, how did you do this part? And I'm like, I think it was in this other video, and I think you do this, but it's been a bit. I've been debating, like, writing a walkthrough or something for Reverie, which would kind of be fun. A lot of standard you feel the need to use save states, especially with the boss fights. Yeah, that's one of my least favorite, like, standard tropes, is put a midway part with the level, and then at the end of the level, there's a lengthy boss fight against the Dynamics boss in some sort of irritating area. And now you have to play through that exactly. Marissa World had some of those really painful ones. Especially because, like, these standard bosses, you don't know what they're going to do, and you could just literally just get pulped in the first few seconds and be like, well, that was fun. You save this regardless. I mean, I think part of that is I think you're on the tasking end of things, and that's fun. Like the task stuff is orthogonal to anything I do, moderation-wise. Like, the task people are off in their own little world. Or pit people are off in their own little world doing their own thing. And, like, don't talk about it very often in moderating. Because, like, one, people don't submit as many of these hacks as they used to. And the ones they do tend to be pretty technical, or if they're not incredibly technical, tend to be a little bit of a mess. Why can I not grab that shell anymore? Also, I'd rather eat... I'm still surprised I haven't run into that stupid Orca boss. Someone linked to that Orca boss that came from Kirby. And I'm legitimately surprised that I've never actually seen it, given how many hacks I've seen were like, let's just use the dynamics bosses. Getting closer. It's pretty fun. I believe it. It's just so far out of my wheelhouse. Maybe one day I'll task something, but not anytime soon. I've enjoyed watching people task stuff. Forever ago, I was watching a stream of Fawful, Fearful Fawful, aka Magfest number 3, make a task of Invictus. And I found out that Invictus was originally going to have the wall clip patch, but Fawful had talked Juz out of it so that he could make a cooler task. Which I don't blame him, but it still amuses me that that's why. Yeah, Fawful was on Absolute Power, I think, back when this was happening. The level where you... No, wait, the one before Absolute Power. The one where you have the LR stuff, where you enable and disable blocks with LR. That was it. Absolute Power comes after that, where you have to do both motor skills and control blocks, I think. Or maybe that is that level. I think that is that level, isn't it? Still play Invictus. Try to give Pit of Death a try. Got bleach in your eye that day doing laundry, lost the mood. That was just the way to pass time. Yeah, if I got bleach in my eye doing whatever, I'd probably be a little annoyed. Sometimes, like, the context around a thing can ruin it for you for a while. Like, the sickest I've ever gotten with food poisoning. That's what there's just motor skills? What's the one where it combines the two? It's like a starry level, where it combines both motor skills and the LR blocks, I think. I think it's like the level before Kamek. Or it might be the level Kamek. Last level's both. Then he was on... No. It must have been the solo LR level then. Because, like, it wasn't the last level. So there's, like, a lead up to Kamek, isn't there? Oh, nuts. Said I probably should put some more time into Invictus. I don't know if I'd actually want to beat it. Just because, like, the final boss sucks. Like, I don't mean to begrudge it. Like, Kamek definitely became a huge mimetic boss and cool thing, Invictus, whatever. Just like Grand Poo Bowser. But, like, it doesn't look fun to fight. I've watched, like, Arisen and others spend so much time on that boss. Hey, I got a midway. Same day the Switch 2 came out, did the stream. Okay, that was probably, like, the day I was on an airplane going to Japan then, because I'm pretty sure those also coincided. Didn't especially enjoy Kamek, no. I think even Juz was a little bit disappointed with Kamek. I vaguely recall him talking about, like, that wasn't really the vision he had for it. And he didn't, like, enjoy the reception of it either. Like, people are not like, oh man, cool boss, so much as, oh, that thing. Alright, what am I supposed to do here? Not that. Haha! I'm escaping the level! Oh, that was a terribly stupid thing to do. But yeah, the other parts seem fine. Motor skills, I'm not good at them. But like, when I left off on it, I might have gotten the midway for the second level. I've beaten the first level. And for the longest time, it actually was my go-to test ROM. When I was testing out something, like testing out my USB interface stuff, I would just leave it on Invictus for like hours and see if it was still working when I got back. Because it shoots you out of the cannon and kills you, and it's enough time to do most of the diagnostic stuff in between. So it was a good way of testing things. Not technically poorly done, it's just a rough gauntlet, and otherwise you're like, yeah. Like I said, it's not bad. I think the word disappointing fits well. Like, it's not a great climax to that game. And I think, like I said, I think Juz also was disappointed by it, in ways. But honestly, there's not that many, like, bosses I can point and say, that was a really cool, awesome boss you put at the end of your Mario hack. Like, Grand Poo World Bowser 2 is... Grand World 2... Yeah. That one. The Bowser for the Poo World 2 hack is probably the most relevant and well executed. Like, it looks hard. Kaizo 3 Bowser, Max is about to chime in with. Kaizo 3 Bowser is also pretty high up there. First phase campfight's just waiting section, unfortunately. When you start to get... Yeah. Like, it's a long auto-scroller that's not terribly interesting the very first, like, what, half a minute? But hey, who knows? Maybe Invictus 2 will be a lot cooler. Or the final boss will be a lot cooler. It's even one of the things that, like, people took away from Invictus 1 was the clock room. The clock room and its implications. Because that's such a cool setup that Just came up with, and seeing people find other ways to make it kind of fit into other sorts of mechanisms. Isn't there a hard save, hard life to exit the fight? I want to say that was fixed in 1.1 that was never widely distributed. Like, you could pick it up in Juzz's Discord or probably off Sandro's site, but for whatever reason, Juzz didn't want to push it back through moderation, and I don't know why. Dodging parts are cool, frustrating to be. Oh, yeah, Kaizo does good boss fights. That's true. I forgot. Like, Kaizo comes up with some pretty cool stuff. In part because I think he, more than any other hacker, really just enjoys boss fights. Which reminds me, I really should give the 100 Rooms of Enemy thing that he released a shot. Like, I have like 4 Kaizo hacks I should probably play at some point in the near future. Yeah, Boxman was pretty good. I'll be honest, that final boss is a bit rough, but it was a lot of fun. The worst part was I ended up dying too many times in Hawaluta's final level. I lost my checkpoint. Or I lost that I'd beaten it, so we ended up cheating our way past it. It was funny. Oh, is it going to be an update? Didn't know it was going to be an update. Tell me more. Because I liked Boxman Tenno quite a bit. Don't tell me more then. Fine. I'll ask you more about this in a week or so. How about that? Yeah, that was a really good one. Honestly, any of the Quack Gem stuff I could recommend pretty heartedly. There's some of them that didn't really get as finished as they may have wanted. There definitely is a low tier, unfortunately, as there always is. Aside from... oh, what was that one called? Mario for people who have Alzheimer's. I cannot in good conscience ever recommend that to anybody. And I sincerely doubt anyone beat that one on its own terms. Like, I definitely saw the other judges mention that, like, they use save states. I didn't use save states, I used a different cheating way. But, like, if you're using save states, that defeats a big part of that. Memoby, random access Memoby, that's it. Yeah, Memoby was my least favorite thing in that entire contest. It was very much you have made something that is technically impressive, that is very cool, and the type of sickos that enjoy this kind of thing will love it. I don't want to see another thing like that in a contest ever again. I really don't. Like, I think I've never been more miserable playing a hack than playing that when I was trying to play it on its own terms. My decision to go from, I'm going to try to beat all these levels legit, to I'm going to spend 15 minutes seeing what I can do, and then I'm going to turn on Always Cape, was probably the best decision I could have made. But like I said, other judges did not play it on its terms. If you use save states, it defeated the purpose, because it changed how high you could jump, where items and things were in the level. Like, that's a standard very hard. Like, you didn't need Kaizo Trickery, you just needed to be really dang good, and even then, like, there are people who, like, specialize in playing long gauntlet levels. You can't use any of the normal skills you use in long gauntlet levels. Memorizing movement exactly. And being able to anticipate what's going to happen next, because you already know what's going to happen next. Like, you cannot do that with a hack that changes everything every time you respawn. So yeah, engaging that on its own terms, Jesus Christ. Now, to be fair, Just be a gamer. No, 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 no. You gotta be more than gamer for that. Like I said, no one really, I don't think anybody really engaged with that on its own, on its actual own terms. Maybe Author Blues did, but whatever. Author Blues is way better gamer than I am. That double hit there was really cool. I missed it. Like, I don't want to impugn the people who made it. Like, cool people. They've made other stuff that I've really liked, all of them. But that specific thing I absolutely hated. Sometimes an artist you like produces a song that you think is just absolute crap. Like, I love Blue Oyster Cult, but for some reason, they absolutely love the song In Thee. In Thee, not a great song. For some reason, they include it on live albums. They played it live when I went and saw them. They have a live version of it at the end of Heaven Forbid. Like, I didn't get like a fancy import version or anything. They just decided to put an extra version of In Thee at the end. Why? I don't know. Nobody likes In Thee. It was on Mirrors. Almost everything on Mirrors was crap. Oh, I needed to spin? Crap. Boggles the mind. What was cool is they did play I Love the Night, which is actually a really good song, and someone who had a backstage pass had requested it. Didn't expect them to play that one live. Yeah, Mirrors sucks. That's all there is to it. Sometimes a band will produce an album that just produces derisive laughter whenever someone brings it up. Someone was hanging out with at the birthday party, was trying to memorize names, and one of them, the mnemonic he had decided upon was Metallica, and he mentioned Saint Anger, and I'm like, of all of the albums you could mention, because nobody likes, no way, yeah, Saint Anger is usually considered to be about when Metallica started really sucking. Maybe it was Death Magnetic. My understanding is that some of the tracks were actually better when they got remastered for Rock Band, but that came with the problem of, well, now you can only listen to them in Rock Band. So. Not to say Metallica hasn't had good albums, but like the Black Album's good. I'd listen to Ride the Lightning any day. Another fun fact. Blue Oyster Cult, Metallica used to open for Blue Oyster Cult back in the day. And then it flipped around to the point where Blue Oyster Cult was opening for Metallica, which I think is really funny. Nowadays, Blue Oyster Cult mostly plays casino shows, and the average age of the person there is around 60. When I went, I was the, like, third youngest person there. Also one of the few people not wearing motorcycle gear, leathers. But that's a different story entirely. They did play the golden age of leather, and people did raise their cans of beer on high. Thankfully, few of them sealed their fates forever. You know what's funny? Local pinball place went and got King Kong, and I still haven't really played it that much. I was there last week and played it once and was like, oh no, wait, did I even play it before? No, I ran into an issue with a different machine and went to tell the bartender about it, and he told me, oh, you're gonna talk about King Kong's drop targets? I'm like, no, just this machine ate my quarters and didn't do anything. Can't find any balls. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Give me some cash, give me some quarters. But yeah, the drop targets are busted on Kong, and you need the drop targets to start the easier, well, not the easier multiple, but there's like, well, is there? How would I describe this? I know that there's at least two Kong multi-ball. There's at least two multi-balls. There's the Kong multi-ball, where you have to do things. It doesn't matter. No one has the machine for you. But like, you hit the drop targets, and then that lights your lock, and then you hit the lock 3 times. And it's your standard multi-ball, you know? Like, every pinball machine has something of a 3-ball multi-ball where you do this, like, thing and you lock balls over time and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's the thing you expect. But, it also has giant insectoid creature multi-ball, which you just get by hitting the specific target enough times. And it's a really easy shot. And then finally, like, after you complete a mode, you can get... I forget what they called it. You get, like, a something lock, a stage lock, something like that. And then when you do another mission, when you do another mode, you have it come in as a multi-ball. And if you can keep the multi-ball going, you get bonus points at the end. Avengers has something very similar, where, like, if you... After you lock 1 or 2 portal locks... It does something similar. And you could also mode stack with that, which is weird. Not uncommon if I get to that point in Avengers, I want to like stack it with Thor multi-ball, because Thor multi-ball is easy to get. Compared to Iron Man multi-ball, which is not. You have to hit that tower shot. Well, I think you just have to get Iron Man, then hit the tower shot 3 times. And that tower shot is inconsistent for me, at least. There's always 1 or 2 shots in a given pinball machine where I'm like, oh, I don't want to make that one shot. X-Men's is the X-Mansion loop. I really, anytime I hit the X-Mansion loop, I really want it to exit early. Because it has a weird sort of reflector property to it. And if you do hit it properly, guess what you get to do? Oh, hooray, I get to go to the danger room again. I keep not making that jump. That's actually kind of a cool feature of that machine that's also incredibly irritating. So, instead of having a left out lane, you have the danger room, which is a small-ish table where there's a hole you can get out, or there's a ramp you can hit to get out. And what happens very frequently is that the ball will fall off the ramp when you're doing something else and fall into the danger room, and I'm busy trying to do a third thing, like start a mode or whatever. I guess that one's not going to happen anymore. Since they changed the X-Men code, you no longer can start modes on either of the Cerebro... No, wait, you still can. Yeah, you still can. I forgot, because it's the right ramp also allows for it. Previously, it was any ramp you could start modes on. Dang it. Any ramp that came back to the flippers, you could start a mode on. But now it's just the center ramp and the right ramp, which is probably a good decision. I don't know. I like the ease of getting into modes, but they're still pretty easy. The only thing that's changed now is you can't just keep farming the center shot. They've basically taken away almost all the spots where I would just farm the center shot. Now, to be fair, they didn't take away the major one that I still like to do. There's 8 major selectable modes. It is so fun. Like, I've really come to enjoy it in the last year and change. I'm at a point, like yesterday I went and played pinball. Very frequently I can basically hit replay on the machine and occasionally like reuse the replay to get another replay. Like, Stern machines raise the replay value after a while, but also if I just have a bad game, I can hit another one. I actually lost the ball because I got a replay. I was like, really? That's what put me over the top? And it was like a very high replay value. It was like 60 million. And 60 million on X-Men is not hard. You just need to complete a mode or so. And quite literally, what kicked me over the top was I entered a mode. Did not see that coming and just dropped a ball. I think I had up to like 5 modes complete last night. Thought about playing a little more pinball today, but then I was like, nah, it's too hot. Anyway. One of those things I'm also curious to see about is, since they're doing, honestly, by the time get over there, they might actually do another code revision. So the particular code revision for X-Men was listed as Days of Future Past Part 1. So presumably they're going to add more. And they kind of needed more. Like, most of the Stern machines nowadays develop their code over time. Some of them get massively better thanks to code changes. Like, I'm pretty sure... Alright, well, you know what? I'm going to ditch the key and just go see what's ahead. Something would have been trivial, mostly, if I had the key. Yeah, I think I watched this one live. I, like, watched 2 players, like, do this to the end. Leave them for work. Have a good one? Yeah, well. Heard the water boil advisory has been lifted. Oh, good. Glad to hear that. That would have sucked to have go on for too long. And have a good day at work. Hope it goes well. Hope the 4th of July food is really good. Or if and when that happens, if I don't see you before then. Because tomorrow's not the 4th of July. What am I talking about? I'm thankful it isn't, because there's so much stuff to do. Like laundry. I need to do laundry tomorrow. And then probably again before I go traveling. Because I'm going to be at the hotel for what is effectively a week. Have to take at least a week's worth of laundry, because that's how that works. Where is my mind going? Yeah, that's done. Yeah, one of the machines I've really started to like playing is the Black Knight Sword of Rage. It took me a while, and there's a guy I run into every once in a while at the local. Very rarely, but it's always a good time because he's happy to talk about pinball and other stuff. Smart guy. Oh, there we go. But basically, I had a question for him, which was, how do you do this? Oh, that's it. We got the golden idol. Perfect timing. But yeah, talk about that and how gambling works in other countries, some other things like that, interesting stuff. But he basically told me what you have to do to get the retro modes, and I love the retro modes in Black Knight, Sword of Rage. That's the whole point of that. Anyway, thanks for the GGs. That was a fun level. Let's see how long it took me. I suspect I finished slightly after... actually, no, that's not as bad as I thought it... it took me about an hour... hour 30, hour 20. Let's see what it says on Romhack Races. That would have put me over Burnap and some other people. So that's not too bad. Like, I have definitely done worse on these. And to be fair, there's kind of a big difference between racing and streaming. I'm having to talk. Like, if you're racing, generally speaking, you're not trying to read chat and talk. So my times would be a little bit lower if I was racing. But then there's the race nerves. So it'd be a bit higher because I was racing. So it evens out. But yeah, that was fun. It was a nice little nostalgia trip, having seen that again.